Hey everyone, I'm Robin, and this is my 2015 BMW R1200 GS Adventure bike. This is my second BMW. I bought a 2007 oilhead R1200 GS, loved that bike. It had the Vario cases on it. I kept it for 6 years and then poverty made me sell it. Last year I picked this one up and I absolutely love this bike. Also last year, I watched a video on YouTube. It was called the Rocky Mountain Moto Tour, and it was presented by North Face. And it was these two backcountry skiers. One was a skier, one was a split boarder, and they ride their motorcycles up to British Columbia to go find the last little bits of powder in the late season. And I was so inspired by this because I ride a motorcycle and I'm also an RE Avalanche certified backcountry skier. I've got 2 pairs of backcountry skis behind me there, and I wanted to build this system. I wanted to put a ski rack on my motorcycle so I could do the same thing. I found out, finally, took some searching, who built that ski rack for those guys for that North Face shoot, and it's a company called Cheetah Factory Racing up in Canada. Now, I called them and it was going to be way too expensive for them to build me a rack, so I figured I'll make one myself. The first thing I did do though is I went to their website and I bought the ski board bracket. That's what this is. This is a combo system, so you can put either a snowboard, a split board, or a pair of skis on here. It is a little pricey on their website, so I actually picked mine up over on eBay. And so I saved maybe $70. They are the priciest bit of all this hardware. But if you're gonna ski, backcountry ski, split board, you have poles, this is the system that you're gonna wanna build. It's really safe, nothing blocks this side of the motorcycle, so if you have to depart the motorcycle, you're not going to hang up on skis or poles or anything like that. So, without any further ado, let me show you how to first install this. Once it's installed, we'll take some measurements, and that way you get an idea of what sort of dimensions I used, where I made my cuts. For example, this crossbar right here is 11 inches because my side case is 11 inches. And this is a BMW OEM hard luggage case. If you have Touratech or something else, you're gonna have to do a slightly different measurement and different cut for the different width of the cases. And that's about it. So let's do this. All right, now here's the rack. Now it normally sits just like this, with most of the rack being behind the bike. Well, actually it's half and half. You have half on the case, the other half behind the case. The reason why it has to be long like this is to balance the skis or the snowboard properly. Now, to show you how to install this thing, I'm gonna move it way forward, and I'm going to show you how I thread the straps in order to attach this thing. And then after these are on, you will zip tie around the anchor points as a secondary backup means of securing this to your bike. Have the buckle side, the operable side of the buckle facing away from you, like so. You're going to start at the bottom, from the bottom of the rack, and you're going to thread up and then back down through like so, and pull it all the way through. You want it so that the strap leading to the buckle is underneath the slot, the offset slotted rail. That's where you want it, just like that. All right, we'll do the next one. All right, buckle facing away from you, and you go up, and then back down the side, just like so. Okay. So it should look like that. All right, now that we've done that, we're gonna slide the rack into its proper position. And first thing we do is we're gonna take the strap and we're gonna run it from the bottom of the anchor point. And I have a twist in my strap here. Let me try not to twist it. We're gonna run it through the bottom and across. And then down the other side, and then back up again, and it's gonna go on the inside of your slotted rail. Not on the outside, not out like this. You got to run it on the inside, back through, over the top, and then back down again. And before you completely latch it into place, you don't want to pull that tight until you do the other side. So here we go again. You're going to go from the bottom through your anchor point, across, down along the case, back up, and then on the inside of your slotted rail, out the side, across the top, back down, and through. Okay, I can now set it down, and we can pull it all tight. All right, make sure it's all the way back. There we go. Pull it tight, same thing here. All right, so the whole idea here is that the straps are as close to the case as possible and are going around the top outside of your the slots that you cut, and I'll show you how to cut those later. So, and then of course I secure the straps, wrap them around, however you want to do that. So yeah, there you go. I'll just do this for now to save time. Okay, now the next thing that we would do is we would take zip ties and run them through, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to put a zip tie on either side of the strap. So you're going to use 8 zip ties in order to properly secure this thing down. So just running the zip tie through, it's not going to be able to make that turn. So put a little bend in your zip tie. All right, like so. And then run it through. You want to make sure it goes underneath your anchor point, and then pull it tight. Same thing here, put a little bend in it, and go up and under and through. There we go. All right, repeat that for each anchor point. All right, and then you're done. If you get your ski board combo brackets from Cheetah Factory Racing or eBay or wherever you get them, you're going to notice that the ski board brackets are different sizes. The front one has the one that has the shorter grip. It's these 2 short little fingers here. The rear one has the much longer fingers, so it has a much taller grip stance than the forward one. This is how you want to set it up. All right, well, I figure while we're here, I might as well show you how to put the skis onto the brackets. First, you start with your poles. Now, my poles are these Black Diamond backcountry poles. They have adjustable lengths. That actually helps because I'm able to lengthen the top pole just a little bit so the skis nest right on top. But here we go. We just put them one on top of the other, throw them in, and make sure they're fully seated. There we go. And then the skis. Now what I do is I put this rear bracket in front of the rear binding. That way my skis aren't pointing too far forward. Remember, I don't want to get hung up on skis if I have to come off the bike. So I want everything as far back as possible. So that's why we have this long rack to be able to create a wide enough stance to do that with the skis and also keep them relatively balanced. So rear bracket in front of the rear binding. Do that. It'll be a little tail heavy initially. The whole thing's going to tip. Actually, I got it pretty well balanced there. All right. Okay. Ta-da! You're probably wondering why I have these spacers attached to the brackets. Well, there's 2 reasons. First of all, there's a blurry spacer in the lower left corner of your screen. That's a 3/4 inch spacer. You will need one of those. Back here, I have a stack of 3. Now, I have 2 3/4 inch and a 1/2 inch because Home Depot didn't have the 1 inch spacers, which you would need 2 of. That is on the shopping list, 2 1 inch spacers. If they don't have them, you could do what I did, 2 3/4 and a 1/2. Now these spacers are for 2 purposes. One, it's so that your bindings, your ski bindings, can clear the side of the ski rack. If you didn't do these spacers, then the binding would interfere with the rack and you wouldn't be able to mount your skis. The other reason, well, it's right down here. The second reason is to elevate the entire bracket up so that this bottom 5/16 bolt aligns with the holes in the offsetted slotted angle, which is this piece of metal right here. One of my favorite features of this ski rack system, in addition to not having anything right here that potentially could become a hazard in case you come off the bike for any reason, is that you've more than doubled the amount of surface area of your side case. Whereas before you might be able to only put one dry bag on top of your side case. Well, now you have 35 to 36 inches of surface area, so you could put snowshoes, snow boots, ski boots, other ski clothes, whatever you want to your heart's content on top of this thing. And if you lash everything down only to this system, and it's not on the rest of the bike, you can still do this. All right, now let's measure it out. From the back of the tail rack to the back of the ski rack is 9.5 inches. And here's the thing, I actually cut an inch off of the offsetted slotted angle, which is what these metal rails are called. I don't know why I did. I just, for some reason, that extra inch seemed like an inch too much. All right, for the rest of the measurements, I think I'll take the skis off. Might make it a little bit easier. So I always wrap my pull straps up here so they don't flap, but it's just a matter of that. The distance between the brackets is 32 inches. The distance between these holes that I drilled, it looks like about 3 inches, and that was so I can actually move the brackets to different positions later on if I wanted to. The length of the top sheet, the sheet metal here, and it needs to be as thick as possible, is 20 inches. Now, what you'll probably end up buying is a 12-inch by 36-inch, or maybe a 12 by 24-inch. You're going to have to cut a little bit off of it because you don't want too much hanging off. The offsetted slotted rails, well, they are 35 inches. Now, the offsetted slotted angles are actually 36 inches long. You can keep that extra inch. I lopped an inch off. I don't know why. It just seemed like I needed to. The width is 11 inches, and that's because the width of my side case is 11 inches. Also, on the topic of hardware, everything is stainless steel. All my washers, all my lock washers, all my nylon nuts, all my bolts, everything is stainless steel. And I don't use zinc, so I spend a little bit more money for the stainless. And also, every single piece of hardware is 5/16 of an inch for its diameter. And everything is coarse thread, which I think is 18 threads per inch. So, and the reason I chose that is because the hardware for the Cheetah Factory Racing brackets came with 5/16 bolts and nuts. So I made my whole thing 5/16. Another important detail is that you don't want this bracket to butt up against the very front of your case. It actually has to be positioned forward just a little bit, and that's so you can access this nut and the bolt for the bottom part of your bracket. Also, these slots here, I'll give you a moment to count the number of holes to where I made these slots. This bolt right here for the forward bracket is in the forwardmost hole on the offsetted slotted angle. So go ahead and count the number of holes here. And the way I made these slots was I simply cut out the middle little bridges between holes to make a slot there. Each of these slots is 2 inches wide, and they are about, from center to center, 9 inches apart.
how you handle snow on a motorcycle. Keep it coming. Yeah, buddy. Oh, what the fuck? How you doing? Oh, that was great fun, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, great time.
Oh man.
Hey Ryan, how do you motorcycle in the winter?
Like this.
This is it. This is how you motorcycle in the winter.